Good. Today, we have another young Indian with us as part of the Voice of the Young series. Hello, everybody. Good to be with you. Today, we have with us Punya Malhotra. Over to you, Punya. Tell us.
Hello, namaste all the viewers. And firstly, sir, apna time aa gaya, like you said in the conversation that we had on LinkedIn. So I actually jotted down a few points what I want to discuss in this conversation, but then I realized that I don't really want to make it, dragged on. So I'll actually keep it very short, brief about whatever learnings, mistakes, failures I have had throughout this life till date. And yes, I'll get started with the introduction first. And I have to say that line, a girl with a million neurons was born on 19 June 2003.
How did you count them, by the way?
That's a very good question. But I actually came across the sources Quora. So I found this when I was, looking up something regarding scientific facts way back when I was in seventh grade. And then I realized that, okay, this is something that I can have it in my introduction because everyone just plainly starts that my name is Punya and I'm doing this or that. So I wanted to add a bit of, spiciness to my introduction. That's why I came up with this line back in those days.
Yeah, but people say gazillion. I hear only you young people say gazillion. They don't say million. Gazillion means nothing, but you wrote million. I say, wow, how did she count them? Anyway,
Yes.
let's go ahead.
Yes. So currently, I'm in my final year pursuing economic honors from Hansraj College, University of Delhi. What I really want to talk about in this conversation with Sir is probably how college as a place transformed me as a person. And I'm actually trying to make it more interesting by incorporating few economic things into it. So
Okay.
let's see how that goes. Firstly, why I chose economics as a field. So that's just a background I'm going to give to myself. Uh, to be honest, there wasn't any specific reason that, okay, I wish to enter economic services, I wish to be part of RBI, or anything of that sort when I chose humanities way back in my high school years. The only reason why I chose economics and mathematics as a combination was because when I was studying that subject, when I was studying micro and macro, I actually found it very relevant to whatever was happening during that time in my country. And I had this additional interest of, reading articles and contemporary issues. So I felt, okay, this might be something that is of slightest interest to me. So let's go on that confidence that I want to build something, a career out of this field actually. So there's no mathematics, no technical analysis that I did in my high school years, just simply based on the interests that I had for this field. And I think I can proudly say that I have no regrets for it because as I have studied economics in my undergraduation, I realized that this field as a whole has a lot to offer. It can be combined with finances, it has an identity of its own, it can be combined with psychology under behavioral economics. So it can be well amalgamated into any field, any interest area which a person wants to go into. So I think it's pretty wholesome and I'm pretty happy with the choice I made. So yes, that was about my academic choice. I'll actually move on to college. So sorry, sir, you are on.
Yeah. Did anybody help you make this choice or you just made it on your own?
No, I don't like nobody helped me make this choice. Yes, we did have counseling sessions in school, but no one at that time specifically pointed out that you should go with economics and mathematics as a combination. It was something that I just did, and I'm pretty grateful that my parents supported that in the choice that I made.
Okay, all right, let's continue, please.
Yes. So college, of course, whatever I'm going to discuss is probably something which a person, irrespective of the year of study, can actually implement. I feel the first basic concept which we study in economics is how human wants are unlimited. That is actually applicable in every phase of life, and so is college. When I entered college, saw people doing something into entrepreneurship, doing something related to internships. They were part of so many societies. They were doing or working as freelancers, because I started my journey in college after COVID, after pandemic, and a whole world of opportunities was opened in front of people. So I realized that, okay, I also need to do each and everything, which I feel is simply a wrong perspective to have, because your resources are limited, and resources in terms of your, you know, focusing capacity, your mental health, and the time that you have, that's pretty much limited. So the first rule which I realized in my second semester of college is that students need to learn how to prioritize. They need to identify what actually their interest areas are. So now I'm pretty clear that I'm not made for entrepreneurship or startups. So I'm completely out of that field.
Okay.
And I'm not, any regrets of saying this in this conversation, that I'm not made up for that, because no, not every person out there is perfect or is well suited for every opportunity in front of them.
Yeah.
So you need to identify the strengths you have. That's why I feel that's the first thumb rule. The second thumb rule for college life is actually doing something that defies the law of diminishing marginal utility. So I'll give a pretty good, like, quick example about it.
Yeah, let's have it.
I had a conversations with my juniors who felt that every minute of the time that they spend in a day should be done towards things that add value to their CV. Now, this is something good, but pretty bad as well. I always advise students that they should at least try and pursue a hobby or interest. It could be anything. It could be art, it could be dancing, it could be music. So this hobby that I'm talking about is actually something that does not reduces your utility or the satisfaction that you are getting once you are increasing the amount of time you're spending on it.
Yeah.
Instead, it increases the amount of interest that you have towards that field.
Yeah.
So if I take my example, I started my content writing journey on LinkedIn. So that was something that I did sheerly out of the interest that I have for writing and sharing the experiences I have had, so that, the people around me can understand that, okay, we can also learn from it, or we can also not try and do the same mistakes as she did. So try and do something that increases your satisfaction level. I feel that is pretty much important. So I started out with LinkedIn. I'm currently focusing on dance, which is my second passion or hobby that I have. And this is like the second thumb rule that I extend to all the collegeites, that no matter how many internships you are doing, no matter how much work experience you are trying to gain, freelancing projects you are trying to do, but it's very important that you devote that 1.5 hours of your entire schedule into doing something that is sheerly out of your interest.
Okay.
So that's the second thing.
All right.
The third one is actually, I'll narrow it down to, LinkedIn, how I said. I think this was a game changer for me, because a lot of people started using LinkedIn, I think around 2020, when everyone was at home, they discovered this platform.
Yeah.
And personally, for me as well, it was a great game changer, like I earlier said. Why? Because all the opportunities that I had been a part of since my college life has something to do with LinkedIn.
Okay.
So when it comes to LinkedIn, I would actually say that it does give you some kind of inferiority complex, because everyone out there is sharing their achievements on that platform. So you would feel that, okay, people are doing so many things out there. What the hell am I doing in my life?
Look,
so
it's not just on LinkedIn. I don't go to the gym because I see people racing on the treadmill and I say, hey, I can't do that. Let me not go to the gym. It's everywhere. You always feel that others are doing more than you. So it's nothing on specific to LinkedIn. Anyway,
yes, that's true.
Go ahead, please.
That's true. It's specific to LinkedIn when it comes to their professional achievements of how they have got promotions in job, or they cracked certain opportunities. So that's where LinkedIn comes in actually. So it hits you with that kind of inferiority complex and imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So the first thing which people doing wrong when it comes to LinkedIn is looking at, the bio or the description which a person has, or the recent upgradations or work experience they have had. I always view people's profiles from the start, like how did they actually start out their journey in
Okay.
whichever field they are into right now.
Yeah.
So as a fresher, we know that when we are in college, under graduation, and not of internship opportunities are available or open for students.
Yeah.
So how exactly can I know that which are the organizations that provide such kind of internship opportunities? So I'll actually search on LinkedIn that, okay, I'm interested in economics or
Yeah.
probably, consulting or content writing. I'll use that keyword. I'll have a list of profiles. I'll click on each one of them, and then I'll go to the experience section and see how they started their journey to being where they are right now.
Right.
That gave me a pretty good idea that, okay, there are 2 to 3 organizations that I have a chance of applying and cracking, because they give opportunities to people who don't carry that kind of experience with them.
Right.
So I think that was the first key that I did when it comes to LinkedIn. The second was, of course, networking, because I think now I have a network that goes beyond boundaries. You can say it could be because of the fellowship opportunity that I'm going to talk about later in this conversation, but it is also, it started much more before that the fellowship happened. Because when I was connecting with people, so some of them currently are in Big Four, some of them are working as freelancers, but I always had some kind of common pointers or, common discussion things that I can initiate a conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the network thing is pretty good, and how it helps you actually. Recently, one of my connections got back to me saying that, hey, I have an opportunity in my organization and I feel that you would like it. So let me know if you would be interested and I'll share all the details and so and
Yeah.
so. This is just one of the many examples that I'm sharing. I think this conversation is happening because of the LinkedIn
Of course.
network and
Yes.
connection.
No doubt
you build.
about that. Yeah. No
Yes.
doubt about that. Yes. Continue. Yeah. Let's have it. Let's hear
So,
from you some more. Right. Let's go.
yes. So I think that's the second reason how LinkedIn helps you. And thirdly, of course, it's not necessary. One myth that I like to burst about LinkedIn is that it's not necessary that you are active on that platform only when you are writing stuff on it. People write and share stuff because they are interested in it, or they are either doing it for their business perspective. You can also be active on LinkedIn when you're just cold mailing people and you have your profile very well updated.
Yeah.
Because I've seen applications nowadays accepting LinkedIn profile URLs instead of CVs and resumes,
Yes.
which I think is a big transformation
Yeah.
in the job market.
Yeah.
Because LinkedIn as a platform is well structured when it comes to defining whatever achievements you want that the other person should know about you.
Yeah.
I think it's not just about writing on it. So if I ask someone that you should be active on LinkedIn, the next question they throw at me is that, okay, then what is the content that I should write on that platform?
Mm-hmm.
So I just make them realize that it's not necessary that you write something on that platform. It's extremely important that you utilize that platform for your benefit.
Yes.
Because it has a lot of faces to it. So you can utilize it to whichever form you feel it's best suited for you as a person.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing about LinkedIn. And then the next section that comes in this conversation is perhaps that of internships. So internships is the buzzword nowadays. I still remember before COVID-19 pandemic, I had seen my seniors pursuing internships only during the summer period because that was the only time they had off in their entire academic schedule. But now you see even people doing internships in their high schools, which is like a big thing that happened after the COVID-19 pandemic, when everything did remote, online, you had flexible opportunities. So I think that's how all of it changed. Again, I'm not going to give or talk about resources by which you can find internships, because I think there are n number of ways by which people have researched ways to crack such opportunities. So I think
Yeah.
there is abundance of such resources.
Yeah.
One thing that I'd like to point out here, again, coming back from a college student's perspective, is that always try and, value quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Because I've seen my juniors applying in applications which are like, we have this jobs, and they just want to rush into that internship opportunity because everyone around them is doing that. So I feel that it's very important for people to analyze the opportunity that they have in front of them, that whether it is worth it to devote any kind of time and effort that they have into the work that they would be provided.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best ways to do that is using your own common sense once you are reading through those roles and opportunities. And the second best way is to, connect with people who would have done that opportunity previously, or, someone who would have posted that. Okay, not really posted it because they might give just one perspective to it, but people who might have been involved with that organization previously. Because I have seen people reaching out to me for Invest India or Nicor Associates. So it shows me how they are, very much interested in that opportunity and how much they wish to know about it. So once you start doing these steps, you will automatically filter out, probably 90 out of the 100 and 150 openings that would be there in front of you. So you have a very small pool of openings now to apply for.
Yeah.
I think these two are the major things when it comes to internships.
Okay.
Because I feel the learning curve in internships is what makes internships the basis of your selection when you go for placements and work experience.
Right.
Because they look at that internship column thinking that you have gained some kind of valuable insights.
Yeah.
So if I have to talk about, the experiences that I have had in terms of internships. So I started out my journey as content writer with Economically. So it was a student-run website that talked about issues related to contemporary economics and finance. And they gave us free hand to choose whichever topic I would be interested in writing about.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was interested in, the chip crisis that was happening in the world, the Sri Lankan economic turmoil that was taking place. So I started out as a content writer. Then in Nicor Associates, I had the opportunity to, narrow down my research skills to gender-based projects.
Right.
So I worked on urban planning, gender inclusivity. It was, a lot of projects that we had. Then I did an article under, the organization. And then I moved on to Invest India, which again provided a great learning curve because I was, although part of textiles team, I knew nothing about the textile sector. But once, I was interning there, I understood that, okay, these are the companies in India that are well established in this domain. These are the plausible collaborations that can take place. Then my most recent experience was with the international trade team of FICCI.
Yeah.
That was another field that I tried to explore. So I think in each of these fields, the learning that I have had or the learning I carried was or is going to stay with me throughout. So if someone, puts a question on me, like, what did you learn from it? I do have things that I can share. And these are not just exaggerated incidents with people come up with when they have not done worth it kind of internships.
Not an imposter profile.
Yes, true. So I don't have those 10s and 15 kind of internships I did. I might have just 4 or 5, but I think each one of them was pretty good in the kind of duration, efforts, and time I dedicated to it.
Yeah.
So if I have to, just briefly give conclusions to all the college things that I talked about, I think there are two major things which students should understand when it comes to college. First, and luckily we are having this conversation when the second allotment list of DU was out today, I think.
Yeah.
So the first thing which students should understand that you would have had your dream colleges. I couldn't make it to my dream college. But the sooner you realize that the place where you are in is the best you would have been offered, the better. Because if you just go on cribbing about it that you couldn't crack certain college, you couldn't, make it to this particular place, the more it's going to hurt you. So
Yeah.
of course, you're going to feel bad about it, but don't try to stretch it out for a very long period of time.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you continue doing that, you won't be able to realize what you can achieve when you are in the place that has been allotted to you. And I actually believe that it is done with a reason, because currently the minor that I was pursuing, computer science, is not offered in the dream college that I was targeting.
Yeah.
So I would have lost out on the opportunity of learning, any kind of programming language that would perhaps help me in my professional goals if I would have ended up in that college.
All right.
So just try and incorporate these
Hmm.
insights that would actually make you feel better.
Yeah.
The second learning
Can
and
I
contribute.
just stop you there? I
Yes.
have interviewed people for this channel who have gone to colleges that could certainly not be called a dream college, right?
Yes.
And they have made it without going to a dream college. The other day, I had a student who went to a Marathi speaking college in a small town in Maharashtra, right? And they studied in Marathi economics. And today he's on a committee, he's employed by a think tank sponsored by RBI. Okay. So,
Interesting.
the college you attend is very important, but it is you who is more important. That's what I think you are saying. And that's what I'm hearing from the students, that yes, college is very important, but you are more important than the college. It's up to you to take full advantage of it. And I've seen many young people from less privileged backgrounds, certainly struggling on money to get anywhere. And I've heard that there are many in JNU like that. From people whom I've interviewed, they
Yes.
say, my eyes opened in JNU because I come from a well-off family. And when I go there, I went there, I see people who have come from, struggle. Let us put it in short, in struggle. And they've made it to JNU. So they didn't go to a dream college at all because they couldn't afford it. But they could still make it. So you're right. I agree with you that it is you that's important, not the college. If I may say that, sorry to interrupt, but let's continue.
No. That's actually absolutely right. And if I have to put it forward to the students to understand it better, I would say that LinkedIn as a platform, or perhaps any opportunity, is available for everyone out there.
Yeah.
So the ones who are using it is you. So
Yeah.
college, like you said, does create some kind of importance to whatever academic and professional goals you have, but it is not the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Because if you have a tier 1 college, you also have to realize that not every student in that tier 1 college has made it big or has a big breakthrough.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it was on the person how well they are utilizing whatever in front of them was.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it is absolutely right. And like you said, you have had previous speakers who shared this kind of experience. So that is, I think, enough validation for especially the incoming batch to understand that just be happy with the choice that you have right now.
Yeah.
And just move on with the next phase of life, which is getting started with college.
Yeah.
And then I'll continue with the second
By the
conclusion.
way, Hansraj may be a dream college for some people.
Yes,
it might
yes,
not
it's
have
not
been for you, but it might be a dream college for others, right? Okay, anyway, let's continue.
Yes, it surely is. So the second one is actually experimenting and exploring, because in school, I feel I followed some kind of routine every day, which was the classes, the homework, the extra lessons I took outside of school, and then everything else, and maybe some competitions I participated in. That's it. So there was some kind of, everyday routine that I followed. But in college, I think there is much more flexibility and much more openness to whatever you can do. Although I still commend all these high school students who are doing wonders at such a young age. But I again feel that college provides you that kind of broad base. And it's very important for people to, continue experimenting so that you don't have that fixated mindset. Because I still remember before entering college, I had this fixed path that, okay, I'll first go in for bachelor's, then master's, then work experience. But when I actually entered college, I explored the economics field and I understood that there are so many branches to economics and not just masters in economics, which was the only thing I was aware of before entering college. I think there are a lot of fields which are probably narrowed down fields, like behavioral economics is there or development economics is there. So all these fields are there. You have to kind of explore these opportunities. So don't try to be fixated into any one path. So I
Okay.
think that is the second conclusion that I'd like to make for all the college students.
Okay.
And the last one is opportunity cost, which is whatever decision you take has some kind of cost associated with it.
True.
So if the final year students, all my batchmates right now, they're taking a decision of what they should actually do after bachelor's. So should it be master, should it be placements or any kind of competitive exam that they wish to appear for, or maybe they want to go in for entrepreneurship. They have to, make certain decisions. And I feel that some kind of technical analysis is important that, okay, these are the pros and cons associated with each option. So
Yeah.
let's compare and let's understand that which one of them would turn out better for me. So that is one approach to things. The other approach, which I feel is that at the end of the day, it actually kind of depends on your aptitude, your instinct, and your interest when you take that kind of decision. Because whatever decision you take, you have to let go or forego of the other one.
Of
You
course.
can't be in two boats at the same time.
No.
So that's the third conclusion I'd like to make. And I think I'll just conclude my college journey on this portion and probably move on to the next
So,
segment of
but
this.
you are not finished, or are you finished college?
No, I'll be graduating next year.
Right. So you're still there, right? So
Yes.
you talk as if you have 10 years of college experience.
No, surely not. I think I don't have that much kind of experience. People do have much more openness that they have had in college. But I think especially for first and second years, I do have some kind of relatable, probably stories to share. Whatever I said right now was something that I have experienced in whichever semester I did. So, and I'm currently seeing all my peers, including myself, deciding that which follow-up path I have to take after bachelor's.
Okay, fine. All right, let's continue.
Yes, the next segment is actually about fellowship programs. So not a lot of people are aware what fellowships really are. So I think I'll just give a brief overview of what fellowships really are and maybe talk about a little bit of the experience I had. So fellowships are something which I would rate are more than internships, but less than work experiences because they usually stretch out. I've seen them stretching anywhere between 1 to 3 years of duration. And you basically are seeing fellowships under the social sector. So LAM fellowship is one of the most prestigious ones that I've seen in India. Teach for India fellowship is another one. So you basically get to work with any kind of experienced professionals in the field that you have chosen, and you are trained to, get an overview of if you have planned something in your mind in that particular field, say education, and you want to do something about it for the underprivileged section. So you would actually dive deep into that and understand that, okay, how does everything work here? How does the field involvement takes place, which I feel doesn't really happen in classroom teaching because you have to be out there in the field, especially when it comes to the development sector. So I recently did, and I'm still continuing it, which is the MCW Young Leaders Fellowship Program. And within that, that also specifically focused on the development side under the three main pillars, which was education, health, and economic security. So it trains young minds to understand that what are the problems in their local communities, which can fit into any of these three pillars. And can you, as probably a responsible youth, do something at the ground level? So it doesn't have to be something that is big with numbers. It has to be something that actually deals with the issues of the society at the very basic or the grassroots level. So I think that's what fellowship programs are, because for internships, I've seen people extending period maximum to say 6 months, and after that they probably get a PPO or they probably shift to another opportunity. But
What's a
fellowship,
PPO?
Pre-placement offer, like I'd
Okay.
say. Yes, usually when you have, and when the organization feels that you have been a great addition or
Yeah.
great value as an intern, so they usually offer you a PPO,
Yeah.
which is different from the placement throughout cycle that you would go to get
Okay.
selected for a full-time role.
Is that better than a placement, or what is the point of this PPO? I have no clue, so I'm asking you.
Yes, yes. Actually, great question. This is jargons that we nowadays use because we are in third year, so we or explore these kind of options right now. So I don't know if I should rate it something better or worse than the normal placement application process that you will go through. But PPOs, I'd say most people view it as a stable backup option. That I worked in an organization for 6 months. I worked there because I really like the kind of work environment that they have. And now I have that pre-placement offer from them extended to me. So I don't have to go through that separate application process,
Okay.
which the other applicants would have to go if they wish to be part of that organization.
Okay, wonderful. All right, I get it. Okay.
Yes.
I'm
So,
sorry, I
and then,
don't know these things. So
no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
asking. Okay. All right, let's continue.
Yes. So I think that's what I've seen when it comes to internships. And then work experience is completely different, which I still have not dealt with right now. So I can't really comment on it. But I think fellowships, right, like, lies somewhere in between of that.
Yeah.
So I think that was a very short, brief, and insight that I wanted to give people on the fellowship sector. And I think lastly, which is actually maybe the concluding thing that I'd like to talk about, which is economics and development side of economics, because that is one thing that I have been personally interested in. So if any of the viewers out there, share similar kind of interests or wants to explore that field, I don't know much about it because I haven't had that kind of exposure in that field. But I still remember that during my second semester, when I was, scrolling random LinkedIn profiles of people in this sector, so I came across two of them, and I had a word with them on LinkedIn, and then we got on a call and we discussed how things unwrap in the development side. And they gave me wonderful insights, which said that when it comes to development sector, most of the master's degree are something which people do because everyone else is now considering masters as a prerequisite for any kind of experience you want to hold. But in development side, it actually matters how well you are able to grasp the situation on field. So if I'm studying about Manrega, or if I'm studying about any of the government policy that has been enrolled, how can I enlist its pros and cons if I don't really know how well it is performing in one district or probably in a state? So development side works in a, you can say down top approach.
Yeah.
Because you can't really view it from a larger sense. You actually could have, a rough idea that, okay, we have the numbers on screen, that how well it is faring for the Indian economy as a whole. But if you really have to identify what are the loopholes, you have to narrow down your research area. So is it one particular state that I wish to research about? Is it one particular district that I'm particularly interested in knowing? So if I want to know the state of, say, disposable incomes and the type of employment opportunities in my district in Delhi, I have to use that kind of narrowed approach. Because I cannot say in a lump sum sense that, okay, I want to research about Delhi as a whole city or state. That's just completely out of question.
Right.
So I think that is one thing or one another insight that I got from them. And I approached them for an internship opportunity, and they said that we do only offline, in-person field internships, because we feel that we send out interns for, field exploration. So at that time, I had my full-fledged semester going on, so I couldn't continue with those internships. But when I heard that, I realized that, okay, they just want to make me understand that you cannot do this work on screen or virtually. You have to be out there on the field. So I think that was my learning about development sector and how I understood that, okay, if I wish to enter this field, I cannot expect myself sitting in a AC room and working on computers. I actually have to be there, interact with people and understand
Okay.
that what are the problems that they are facing when
Yeah.
it comes to any kind of thing that I'm researching about.
Okay.
So I think this pretty much sums up what I really wanted to talk about in this conversation.
Okay.
And one last thing,
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
had I came across, I have interacted with a few juniors because I did few sessions on TalkMate, which is like a platform that you can use to give out any kind of services. So freelancers use it for personal branding or whatever services that they have in their businesses, and students or young working professionals use it for any kind of placement guidance that they wish to give out to individuals. So I
Right.
do that mainly, again, revolving around college atmosphere, and I have seen juniors being very passionate about things. I've seen my subsequent batches doing wonders in that. I just want to say that it's really great to do things and be ambitious, but at the same time it's very important to be realistic in terms of the goals you set for yourself,
Okay.
because as soon as you have those high achieving goals, you will have some kind of insecurities when you're not able to achieve it,
Yeah.
because you have set those kind of parameters for yourself that once you start losing out on any kind of success that you share, you actually start questioning your abilities, which I feel is one of the backdraws. Because once you start doing that, you're actually in that vicious cycle of, going on and questioning your capabilities, your skills, and then you actually go down, the downward or downtrend path in your life. So just try to be very realistic in your goals, and if possible, set step-by-step goals rather than very large or high achieving
Okay.
ones.
All right. Wonderful. I mean, I've learned so much from you. It's great because, I'm so out of touch with young India today. And certainly it sounds very exciting place to be. If you are in a good college, it's an exciting place. There's so many opportunities, so many things to look at, so many ways to make your way forward. It's quite exciting, actually. And I think you've laid it out very well. Anything else you like to add? How did you have fun in college?
How do I have fun? That's a very good question. That is like one of the most important questions, that you need to have fun in college life. I think I did have less fun time because my friends, most of my friends, they are not from Delhi NCR, because we have this diverse crowd in Delhi University. So whenever we used to have holiday season or time off from our semester, our group was not really together at one place so that we could go out. But I think we made a top list of 25 places that we want to visit. And we are trying completing that within 1 year or whatever months that we have left out of this college life.
So what have you visited? Let's hear.
Visited, I think
You
some
just
of the
said
top.
you had a list, right? So what's on
Yes.
the list? Just tell us about the one or two places.
Yes, I think one of the top ones was the adventure park that me and my friends went to. Although half of the rides were closed at that time, but it was fun because I went out with my friends. So we just made up that the time that we had together. The second one was, I think, Majnu Tila, which is like one of the popular locations, especially for people near North Campus. So I think that was another wonderful place that I visited with my friends. The third one was, of course, Connaught Place, CP, which is like the go-to place for
Is it?
all the collegites. Yes, especially for North Campus, because now the metro has made all the transportation things easier. So it's like you can readily go to these places and, just hang out with your friends. So I think
Okay.
that's one of
I thought
our
CP is
go-to.
now historically outdated, but you're saying no, it's helping.
We actually went there for Museum of Illusions, which is like one popular go-to place for collegeites and even just school students.
Okay.
And I think, of course, cafes. Cafes are like the place which has all the college people surrounded in that setting.
Okay. All right, that's good enough. At least I know that you had some fun.
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
definitely did.
All right. Anything else you want to add now, or are we done?
I think we are done.
Okay,
I
fine.
think
I
that was
can just
pretty
say
much.
thank you so much, Punya. It was great to listen to you. And, it's so really, it is quite a, let us say, eye opener to see such young people with so much energy, optimism, enthusiasm, and actually doing things rather than just sitting back and surfing the internet for no good reason, or just Insta or whatever it is, Insta, Snapchat, whatever it is. I mean, you didn't mention those things, but perhaps you are there also, and with good
Yes,
reason.
I actually started my Instagram account because of a competition.
Uh-huh.
And I currently don't have the app on my phone because
Okay,
I think I'm more obsessed with LinkedIn,
okay,
which is
fine.
also a bad thing to do.
Yeah, okay, fine. Whatever. Anyway, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. And we'll see, maybe we catch up with you after you finished your BA to see what's happened in this year. Until then, let me say bye to the viewers, and maybe we'll catch up with her 1 year from now to see how she's done. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. I'll be back soon with another young person or an expert. Till then, bye.